Morning. The boss man and I must be on the same schedule because we coincidentally pulled into the field at exactly the same time to start our servicing. First thing I noticed hopping out of the truck is how wet this material that we harvested last night is, indicating that the soybeans probably picked up a little bit of moisture last night. Oh yeah, definitely. And these were tough cutting last night when they were 10%. Huh? They're actually fairly dry. Those would probably test, but the beans won't cut very good.
Is there any of these big ones in there?
I don't think so.
Everything's serviced and ready to go. As a matter of fact, Dad's already out cutting a sample. Combine's roaring. We're in some Pioneer 37 A18 soybeans today. And based on what the yield monitor's been showing, these may be our best beans. I'm a little skeptical on that because this farm has looked the poorest all year. Very marginal soil in spots, did not get near as much rain as some of our other farms. So maybe the yield monitor's a little off. I'll tell you when we're done. Stop watching the combines harvest because every time I look at them, I notice something that's broken. You see that far snout? Looks a little bit limp. It's supposed to be more upright, like that one. The snouts are part of the header height control. They actively sense the ground there on the tip and has a sensor back in the back. So it probably wasn't cutting that good with it being down like that. We didn't have the bolt we needed stockpiled, so we took one of the extras from the other side, moved it over, and then sent Chris in for parts around the local John Deere dealership. We're cutting, don't need them all, but we do need a few once you start to lose a couple. You hit the wrong button when you went to turn on as a loading auger. That one's not on the grain cart. You might as well dump for at least a minute before you go. It's about to run over the front. This is what happens when I stop to help Dad for a minute. Somehow both combines end up full.
Load down a little heavy.
crossing the road into a different field. Katie just cut the last of this first field of 37 A18 Pioneer beans. Based on what I'm seeing, they should be pretty good. Beep, 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 calculating. Ladies and gentlemen, I am shocked by that number right there. This field has looked so poor all year without the rain. It's a lot of low quality dirt, but those Pioneer 37 A18s really swung for the fences out here. I was gonna be tickled if this made 70. It made almost 80 bushels an acre dry. That's phenomenal. There's quite a bit of disparity on this yield map because our two combines don't really push out the same data. This on the hill though is what sticks out to me. That's what drug the yield down. The high ground that did not get rains. What we were seeing though is on the lower areas, other than where there was major water damage through here, the big combine, Dad's combine, which is the closest accurate, there was swaths out there where these beans were throwing triple digits. I kid you not, that yield monitor was showing over 100 for 50 to 60 foot at a time, which is really impressive. There's just nothing we can do about this hill there. We didn't have enough rain, and your hills are always going to be your lowest performing in that scenario. The fact that this field made almost 80 is incredible. Got another small field in the books, moving about 2 miles to the east to a bigger field. I'm not doing a very good job today. Combines have constantly been waiting on me, either with the grain cart or the head cart. Let's move to the next field. Katie's back with the other combine, finishing up a small patch on the previous field. We got about 80 acres here to cut. It should run us for a few hours. Back to the old John Deere Operations Center. That's the field we finished first thing. That's the one we just cut. It made right at 65 bushel an acre dry. It's only 34 acres surrounded by trees, and it's almost entirely consisted of the worst type of soil from this farm. So 65 for that one, given the circumstances, isn't too bad. We moved over here east of the interstate. We're opening this field up. Dad's already cut most of the ends off, and Katie's just now hooking her draper up at the bed side. I've got a fun little side-by-side between two Pioneer beans. We've got the 37 A18s that were on one half of the planter, and we've got one of their newer beans, the 38 A28s, on the other side of the planter. So when it's all said and done, we should have a good little comparison between these two varieties. I'm not sure how visible it is to the naked eye, but there's some very distinct physical characteristic differences between the two varieties. The 37s, which are right here, this 60-foot strip, are kind of a lighter, taller bean, and then next to it are the 3/8s. They are a shorter, darker bean. Just visually, the 37s look better. However, that first field we finished up this morning tells you that looks aren't everything, because those 37s looked horrible on the other farm all year, and come harvest time they made almost 80. So looks are not everything, but they certainly mean something. Yeah, that does appear to be rain to the west. Looks like it may go south of us. That's kind of unfortunate because I'm ready to quit early for once. I had to radio Dad after listening to him go by a couple of times because something sounded horrendous on the back end of his combine. We just checked it out. Something's definitely wrong with his chopper, so he may be shut down for the evening anyways. I didn't get the official report, but that answers that. The hopper's down, he's done for the night. What Dad believes is the issue is that we're missing a bunch of these chopper knives. So you can see a lot of them are 2s, but then you got one right here. One of them's missing. Missing there. Again, they're supposed to be 2. I'm surprised they're gone. You would think we ran something through the combine, except for they're far apart from each other. So I'm not sure why they're missing. Maybe just wear and tear. Seems premature for a 360-hour machine. It's only separated for like 200 hours and change. Just the nature of the beast with harvest equipment. They're almost entirely wear parts. Fortunately, this should be an easy one to fix, assuming nothing's wrong with the actual main chopper. I don't really know why it was banging, unless it's just because it's off balance, because not all the knives are in. Our luck has ran out. The rain's moved in. I guess not completely, because the big machine's back running again. Dad and a mechanic from Alliance Tractor got his chopper back in working order. He said the beans are getting tough though, so we're probably on the clock. You always gotta have a good harvest rainbow. There's ours. Actually, hold on a minute. That is a double rainbow. Look at that. On the edge of being rained out. Beans are getting kind of tough, starting to carry.
He's third in line, and they said it would be 30 minutes before they could get it unplugged.
The elevator we're hauling to is plugged up. TG Minoga, go figure. We are right on the edge of being rained out. The beans are starting to carry over a little bit on the back of the combine. Once they get tough, they don't thresh properly. As much as I kind of wanted to quit early, you got to appreciate this rainbow right here. It is absolutely magnificent. I'd say my lollygagging is slowing us down a little bit. Time to catch the combines again. Quick update, the elevator in Neoga is getting decongested. They got the leg fixed. Dad and Katie are both running right now, cutting a little slower than they were midday just because that moisture's made the beans a little tougher. They are still processing, threshing fine, just not moving as quickly. There is a little bit of rain to the west, although highly unlikely that it hits us. I am going to tarp the truck just in case, because I don't know when Jeff's going to be back. It's a lot of work. That's enough to wear someone out, isn't it? Someone else got to quit early tonight. Wasn't me. Dad and Katie were just radioing each other in the combine, making commentary on the fact that the dust is starting to reappear and the beans are cutting easier, probably due to this little breeze we have right now. And of course, as I mentioned it, Katie starts dragging up again. Dust is a very good indicator that the soybeans are dry and harvesting easier. There's not as much of a dust now as there was 2 or 3 hours ago. It was like a smoke screen, but we're still going. That's a view right there that I could stand here and watch all night. Combines chewing through the soybeans, lightning in the background, beautiful. The walk was a lot longer from the bin site to the grain cart than I expected, so I'm hitchhiking with Katie. Car gives us the final ruling. Split field of Pioneer 37 A18s and 38 A28s, 75 bushels an acre dry. And they were dry 10 to 11% at the elevator. Because of the variability in the combine yield monitors between the two machines, it's really hard to draw any kind of definitive conclusions without just turning one of the machines off and running a data report on the other one. probably the S780, it's a little closer. It looks like where the S780 ran, there wasn't a ton of discrepancy in those strips. So I think it's safe to say, although the 3.7 beans looked better, they may not have really yielded anymore.
I'm interjecting a clip from at home on my desktop to kind of talk a little bit more about these yields. The John Deere Operations Center is great. However, if you really want to do some analytics on the data, you kind of need to do it from a desktop. You just have more functionality. I came into the yield maps. I post-calibrated the combines to get them set together at that 75 bushels an acre. It helps a little bit, although it's never going to be perfect. It is what it is. We'll work with the data however we can. This is that field that we finished harvesting this evening in this video. You can see that we got the data pretty close together. There's definitely some variability, multiple head widths, different things overlap. They all just kind of muddy the waters in the yield data. On the right here, you can see the variety map again of those two different Pioneer soybeans. We've got the 3.7s in yellow, and then we have the 3.8s in blue. If you look at the yield data, there is a very clear trend. This area of the field, which is the lightest earth to poorest soil, the lowest water holding capacity, did not perform well. It didn't even look good this season. When we're going over this road on the overpass, you look down here, just the beans were not developing well. Some soils need frequent rainfalls, which we've seen continuously this harvest for both corn and beans. You get into this subset of the field here, kind of middle channel to the southeast corner. It's darker soil. It's not extremely productive, however, it's night and day better than the west end here, so it threw better yield numbers. If we were to get a lot of rain, what you typically see is areas like this don't yield as well because we've gotten so much rain. Those are the areas that are more subject to ponding. We go down here to the data analysis tab, and we can kind of get a rough idea of the differences between the two varieties. You can see we have the Pioneer 38A28s, the Pioneer 37A18s, pretty similar acreage, harvested or planted probably, and the yields are basically insignificant in difference. We have 75.72 and 76.07. That is what the machines read when they cut through. 3.7s were a little bit wetter, so I guess if you added a quarter of a point of moisture, they'd be another couple tenths of a bushel higher. With two combines running in a very broad brush trial like this, I would have to see at least probably a 4 to 5 bushel difference to even consider there to be a competitive advantage from one to the other. Just not a good way to truly test the capabilities of a variety or of a specific product. You need to harvest strips, weigh the strips. Combines are just kind of a fun little way to look at data like this. This data reiterates to me as a farmer that as long as you are placing hybrids and varieties within reason of soil types and climates where they can perform well, a lot of times really their success and failure comes up to those external things that you cannot control. Did you get enough rain? Did you not get enough rain? In this case, both of these beans got enough rain to grow 75 bushel beans, give or take a bushel or two. If we had more rain, maybe we would have had 80 bushel beans out here. Both of them. If we had less rain, maybe we would have had 60 bushel beans. I mean, it's just kind of the nature of the beast when you're not working with irrigation. You just do your best and hope that turns out okay.
Personally, I thought this field would yield closer to 80 like that first field. I thought it was similar, but maybe this is a lower quality soil or coincidentally missed one of those localized rainfalls that could have made a 4 or 5 bushel an acre increase in yield. Either way, given the dryness on this light soil, I think 75 bushel an acre is pretty good. Yields are always important. A more pertinent discussion though is this storm that's rolling across from the west. We're right where this blue dot is, and that looks to be building, and I hope there's no hail in it because this is a bad time of year to get hail on soybeans. Hail breaks open those pods and spills them on the ground for a complete loss. Probably not going to happen, but food for thought. Maybe the next video I'll give you an update. Anyways, we're racing to get everything in home before the rain comes in. We don't want anything stuck out in the field that can't get out, like the grain cart's fine, but we got semis at other fields that we need to get out of here. I'm going to take off. As always, I greatly appreciate every single one of you continuing to tune in and support the channel. Your viewership means the world to me. I'll catch you all in the next episode. Until then, make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more, and comment down below if you have any questions. You know I love to talk about farming. Have a great day, everyone. Peace!